Is the pack attack gonna pack a punch?
Yo.
2026 Green Bay Packers preview right here, Sam.
Yeah,
So, NFC North, I think a lot of people agree, one of the deepest divisions in football.
yeah.
All these teams, I think, are pretty solid
Last year,
to
none of them had a
downright
losing record.
dangerous.
Yeah, none of them last year had a losing record at all. The
Yeah.
Lions finished last and they went 9-8. So this is definitely a tough just schedule for everybody having to play in this tough division. And then the Packers, they don't get the easiest schedule. Like
So,
they have a lot of tough games.
before you followed, the Packers won a lot of years. They won the North, but they haven't won it in 4 years now.
Yeah, 'cause they suck
So it's been the day of the Lions and the Bears, and
really now.
so does this Green Bay team have a chance?
No.
So yeah, let's look at them, and I think I agree with you there if we come right down to it. But let's see what we can expect and what we're looking at with Green Bay here. Um, so we've got the Packers. What do you think of their coach?
I don't hate Matt LaFleur. I don't hate him.
I think he's solid. I like him as a coach. His brother's the Cardinals head coach now. He seems a little doofy, but maybe he can be something in the long run. But I do like what we have with Matt here.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing the Packers have going for them. I don't think there's really a lot that needs to be said. I think he's proven that he has got a good head on his shoulders and can lead teams to winning records, even in tough situations. So let's look at the offense because there's been some changes to the Packers.
Yeah, so you have Jordan Love. You know, you love him or hate him, but I do think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think he's really underrated, and I'm saying this as a Lions fan, and I hate the Packers the most out of any team. I hate them. They are my least favorite, but I do respect that Jordan Love is very good.
When we did our top 10 quarterbacks, did you have Love in your top 10 then?
I do believe so.
Okay, all right. So for me, I'm not overly impressed with him. I think he's okay. He's not someone that I want to depend on to go out there and win a game for me. I saw his Madden rating, and I know that's just Madden, but I thought that was crazy when I saw it as a 97.
What?
I saw it as a 97.
He's not a 97.
I don't think so.
He's not. That's not the rating. Um,
But
the
so
Packers, the QB room was interesting last year. Jordan Love went down for a bit, and then you pulled in Malik Willis. You know, he had some crazy games where he put the team on his back, and now he just got like a $70 million bag in Miami. He's gonna die out there. Respect to him for going over there with no one on there, no weapons, nobody. He's gonna get sacked every play.
to be
It's
fair,
wrong.
when he signed with the Dolphins, he didn't know they were planning on trading Waddle.
Yeah,
So that would definitely be a punch in the gut. So as
he's
soon as
starting.
you sign to lose your number one wide receiver. But yeah, so Packers don't have the same backup. Tyrod Taylor, I think,
He's a journeyman
is
now.
mid to he's someone that knows what it's like to be on the field. He's not gonna melt, but I don't know if he's gonna really win you any games either. So last year, wide receiver was a real depth for the team.
Yeah, they definitely had one of the most interesting just wide receiver rooms just with how many decent people were on there. You know, you had Watson, you had Wicks, you had Golden, the rookie, and you know a lot of other people,
Reed and
Watson.
Dobbs,
Yeah. So it was definitely a nice room where Love can spread it around a lot, and
and he
that's
did.
yeah, he did. There's a lot of guys that he can also throw to you outside of that. Like you have Tucker Kraft. He was looking like phenomenal, and then he got knocked down. He's back though. He's back now. Hopefully we see a big season from him. I do expect one. But he was looking like a beast before his ACL got torn.
I like Kraft a lot.
Yeah, I'd rank him top five tight end.
If he can return to form, then I think that's a real game changer that the Packers have. I like they have at wide receiver. You know, I like Watson. I like Reed. I think Golden can be good. So I think that's a really good top three, but you're one injury from being kind of sparse on the wide
Yeah,
receiver room.
you like looking at their schedule, they play 5 teams that made the playoffs, and that obviously includes Chicago, their division rival, but you also play Minnesota and Detroit twice. And then you have other teams that could have made the playoffs that were really close, like Dallas. They had a little bit of a chance.
Hmm.
Tampa Bay, they looked good.
Yeah.
Minnesota, Atlanta looked good near the end.
And I think we'll get more into the schedule when we're putting together our final previews.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a mix. There's some really good teams they play, and there's a few gimmies.
There's like honestly, I'd give them two. Week 2 against the Jets, and then week like
The
one of the last
Dolphins,
weeks, yeah, against the Dolphins.
yeah,
Like they
th
play the whole AFC East.
those should be two of the easier ones. They have some good wide receivers, but not as much depth as they had before. Josh Jacobs. So where are you with him?
Um, you're not guilty. You're not guilty yet. So until I see that he is guilty, I'm not gonna make up my mind about him.
So if he's on the field for the Packers, how do you feel their strength is at running back?
He is definitely one of the best just running backs with strength. He's a power back, and I mean he was just like trying to recover from a groin injury, so he might not see him at 100%. I mean I've seen stuff with like his days in Las Vegas where he got a little too cocky. That didn't work out. So hopefully we don't see him just go all ballistic or anything, because he's got a lot of talent, but sometimes he doesn't show it some weeks. And it might be the offense, might be their opponent's defense, but some games just he really isn't good at.
I think a lot of the success for the Packers is going to be based on how Jacobs does this year, because
Yeah,
he has the potential to really be a game changer, to be a dominant force. And if the Packers can have a balanced offense, if those receivers can make plays and Kraft can move the ball downfield, and then Jacobs can punish the other team, then the Packers can have a solid offense. But
I do think they have a decent O line too.
I think that too. I think that is gonna do their part to give other players a chance to do theirs. I think Jacobs. So I think it's important for him though. I think if he doesn't do his part, it makes him one-dimensional. There's not a lot of depth behind him that I see, and so if he's not getting it done, the Packers, I think they're in trouble. So I think a lot goes on his shoulders. But I think they've got an offense that can do things and make plays and put up points. So it's kind of where I'm
Yeah,
at on the offensive side.
the defense it's intriguing. They got Micah Parsons and he looked decent. He didn't look as elite as many people thought he would be. And then he tore his ACL.
Yeah. So part of that, I think, is there's that acclimation, there's the adjustment to a new team, a new defense, so much that you're trying to take on. And that's kind of difficult to transition in the middle of the season. So I think that's what you're seeing is that it wasn't an immediate light switch for him with the team.
Yeah,
But I think he's an exceptional player. But one of the things is they're hoping that he's back for week 6. So 5 games, that's like a third of the season right there. So that's kind of a tough position to be in to be without your one of your best defensemen for the first third of the
yeah.
season.
I mean they have a kicker. I don't know what to say really about him. He's always been kind of mid. McManus, isn't that who their kicker is?
I mean, when I'm looking at the depth chart right now, they drafted a sixth round kicker Trey Smack. That's who I'm seeing right now.
Wow, they get rid of the guy?
So I don't see McManus on there currently. But if we look at the defense, so they picked up Javen Hargrave, who's got connections. So I will say this. So Gannon's the defensive coordinator now. He used to be the Cardinals head coach. Before that, he was with the Eagles. I think he's a good defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
So I think that's one thing the defense has. Javon Hargrave, I think, has got some familiarity with him. I think you mentioned Van Ness, the first round draft pick from a few years ago.
Yeah,
You got Zaire Franklin, plus Benjamin St-Juste, the cornerback they just signed. So he'll give them some depth in the secondary. I'm trying to think of who else that I was looking at and thinking about here as well. But I mean, I think they've got a few players on defense, and I think they were just outside the top 10 last year. So definitely, if they can put together that kind of consistent performance, then the Packers are going to be a formidable team. I don't really see their defense as a weakness. I don't really see their offense as a weakness, besides maybe a lack of depth at certain positions, and that can get anyone. But that's kind of what I'm looking at with offense and defense. What do you think about their defense overall?
it's a decent defense. It's always been kind of in the middle. There have been some times where it's been really good, and just sometimes when it's not been that good.
Hmm.
But I like what they've been doing, and I think adding Parsons was definitely good.
Yeah.
Um, but it'll take a bit for him to come back, so it won't be as good as we would have thought.
So
But
let's go. You mentioned their schedule earlier. So let's look at their schedule and just kind of put our final thoughts together and see what we think the Packers are going to be able to do this year.
they definitely have a tough one, like I said, playing in the NFC North, playing five teams in like that made the playoffs. So they start with the Vikings at Minnesota. That game, it's probably a win. Then they go to New Jersey to play the Jets, so that's a win. They play the Falcons at home, so I think that's a win. And they go to Tampa to play the Bucks. So it's not a very easy like schedule.
I think it's one of the easier stretches of their
It's
schedule.
like yeah, but going on the road like 3 of your first 4 weeks,
Now,
going to Minnesota, then New Jersey, then getting a week and then going to Tampa. It's just a little all over the place. And then they play Chicago at home, so I think that one's a win just 'cause that atmosphere it's good. It's gonna be a close game, but I think they pull off that win against Chicago. So I think they start 5-0. And then they play the Cowboys at home, so I think they start 6-0. And then they play the Lions at Detroit, so I think they lose that one. And then at home they play Carolina, but I think Carolina gets the upset there. I think that's going to be the biggest real upset against Green Bay.
hmm
Then they go to New England, and I think they lose that game, so they lose like three in a row. Then they're at home against Minnesota, so I think they win that. But then they go to SoFi and play the Rams, so I think they lose that one, obviously.
right.
I think they beat the Saints, as even with them being an away team. And then at home they fight the Bills, and I think they lose that. They beat the Dolphins, I'd say, at home.
hmm
Then they go to Chicago and then lose that. They fight the Texans at home, they lose that. And then at home they fight the Lions and win that. So I think I have them going 10-7 and missing the playoffs.
Yeah, for me, I see like an 8-9 win team. I think for them to do better than that, I think that they have to get off to a good start. They have to win those early games, take advantage of. So Minnesota, as the season progresses, maybe their offense gels, but maybe your best chance is to get them early in the season before they're all in sync. So I
Yeah.
think that that's important to win that game. Bucks, they play pretty early on.
Yeah, week
Um,
4.
so I think you got to get to those teams early and really try and get those early wins built up because you're right. You look later down the season, Cowboys, Rams, was it Patriots on there too?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, they have to split the division series with the other teams. I know that's six tough games, but you can't give any of those two wins. I mean, that really puts yourself in a bad situation there. And then the Panthers, Saints, Falcons, those teams, they should win, but
There's definitely a chance that they don't.
but if things come together, like for the Saints, a lot of people are high on the Saints. Those games might be tougher than you anticipate. So there's a lot that they need to get done early to put themselves in a position. If they are anything less then like
Perfect.
yeah, if they're going into the Packers game, or I'm sorry, to the Cowboys game with, 2, 3 losses already, then it's kind of like their season's done, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of good players they have, and I think with the way the North is, any one of the teams can win. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers were to to come out on top. But in my projections here, I have them finishing third behind both the Lions and the Bears
I
with
I I do think
with
that's
like an
true.
8-9 record.
Yeah. I think it's really just our record that's different. But they play the Bills, then the Dolphins, then the Bears, then the Texans, then the Lions in their last weeks.
Yeah, Texans
So
gonna be difficult too.
it's just a lot of games that could go either way, and a lot of games that are going to be definitely a loss. Like I don't see them being the Rams, the Bills, the Texans, or the Patriots really. But I think that does it for our little Packers preview
Yeah, we'll wrap it up here, and we'll come back here soon with the Vikings. We'll
to
start
wrap up.
trying as we're getting close to the season. We still have about half the league to go, so I think we're going to try and get these out probably about one a day or so.
Yeah,
Um,
after the Vikings, we're going to be moving to the AFC South. I don't know who'll be starting there, but it'll probably be the Texans or Jaguars.
yeah, you can take your pick, which one you like the most, and we'll start with them. But yeah, let's wrap it up here. We'll come back here soon with the Vikings.
Yep. All right.